So today we are back on the failed attempt to widen out a little bit of this parking area for the You Tube Yacht Project. The You Tube Yacht Project is the concrete shaped rental boat that we're building. Well, this is concrete. The rest of it's framed 1 and 2 levels. And we should have a whole bunch of material coming at the end of June so we can get going on that framing. But we haven't been able to get 16-foot wide material back down this road for the staging area. Well, that's just a hood for a Subaru. That's not our dog. If you want it, you can have it. It's a stray that showed up. And if you remember, we broke the 755 by trying to get these 2 stumps out and moving some of this concrete around. And on top of that, I'm also going to try to get the parking area, use that loosely, behind the barn done as well, so the 555 backhoe has a place to sit whenever we're not using it, which is going to be the back side of the barn here. And we've already started the process by removing a couple stumps, and it did rain a tremendous amount last night. So I figured I'd play it safe and start around 1 or 2 o'clock this afternoon and let it dry out a little bit. Yep, should be good to go. Still got that burn pile going from when we took down those 2 dead trees. I'm gonna take the 755 and pick through some of the smaller stuff with the forks. Try to get that on the pile first. Up to about right there is chert rock and white gravel. I know there's a lot of weeds growing through it. That's all good solid base right through there. But all this is just dirt. So we're going to try to take the 555 and get all that dirt out of the way. We'll just kind of shove it over there for now until it dries out and we can actually work with it. Now this will be the first time doing any loader work with the old 555. So we'll see how she does here. Some of that. Some of this. Pretty soft stuff. Yeah, pull myself out real quick. We may be better off just using the hoe and sweeping her out. I'm having to go way deeper than I wanted to. You can see where the good clay's in there. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this as big as I'd hoped with those 2 loads. We're just gonna keep picking away at it, see what we can get. I can't really go forward because of that muddy mess, and I need to come backwards. So we'll see if we can back out of that. If not, I'm just gonna try it a couple times. I don't want to tear anything up on that. We'll just take the 755 and backfill this with a chert rock, and then we can come back onto that. I don't know, maybe an hour or two. Just got to shove off some topsoil, move some base rock. It should be fine. Shouldn't have any issues. Let's see if a little bit of chert ramp action can help us drive up out of here. think like however thick that is, it's probably 3 feet thick. A layer of chert will be fine. There's just a tremendous amount of moisture. It's just flat across all this. There's no drainage, so whatever rains just sits and stays. There's just a lot of moisture. I'm gonna push this off a little bit more, and then we're gonna try to sneak the backhoe, thread the needle through that undisturbed part right there. And we'll try to dig this part out a little bit maybe and swing some dirt over there for a time to clean up when there's a drought. I was just curious, time comparison compared to the backhoe. That was like 25-30 minutes maybe just to do that with the 755. I'm gonna use the backhoe to get these last few scoops of dirt in, and then we'll use the 755 to polish it up. It's laying in here pretty nice. I've got one spot, so I don't know if you can see that line right there. I think that's where I was pulling myself out with the backhoe, and it got filled in with dang near mud instead of chert. So I may run a trench right down that soft spot and fill that in tomorrow morning, but the rest of it's looking pretty good. We're slowly getting the mud into something there. That's all kind of cleared out. It's at least spread out and the biggest holes are filled in. That'll kind of help dry it out. And it's crumbed up quite a bit too. It's headed in the right direction. Stumps are burning good. Looking real good. I'm gonna go ahead and dig this soft spot out real quick. Get that filled back in with some good material. That looks like an old rotten stump hole to me, but I think we're past the worst of it. We'll get this polished up with 755. Finally starting to shape up, and it's finally starting to feel good on that tractor. I'm getting pretty excited about it. I think this is going to work okay. I was hoping to have enough to square this whole thing off, but given the swamp we were dealt, I can't believe that we lost almost 40 tons of material right here in this spot, but we did. But I still think we'll be able to back the backhoe in like this. That thing had a heck of a root system for no bigger than what it is. Hand for scale. Wow. I don't think this little hackberry will be too much for us. Almost too easy. It's like it takes the fun out of it. I'm gonna park over here for now. We'll go grab the little tractor and get those carried over to the burn pile. People keep asking when I'm going to put the counterweights back on because we're pretty light in the nose. A little bit of material in the bucket goes a long way. But the other thing is, I mean, a little light in the nose is a little light in the nose. It's not really hurting anything. You just kind of get used to floating. It's not a huge deal. But the reason they're not back on yet, these counterweights have to come back off because I gotta get the back side of those milled out to give me some more clearance. So that plate right there, see that? You know, what if we had a way to, you see this plate right here? This is where obviously the back half of the tractor ties into the front half of the tractor. You can take those off and split it if you need to. These 555s are notorious for things breaking right there. There's some pretty good indicators that the issues are there, and knowing the way I run things and what I'm going to expect out of this, I want to reinforce it and make it as strong as possible. And I've seen other 555 owners do this on forums, so I want to get it done so I don't have to worry about it down the future. Going to have the back side of that counterweight milled out so there's enough clearance for that same thickness plate, and then we're going to have a plate run up behind here that's welded on, and we'll have holes there. So the bolts that hold that counterweight on will also run through plate, and then that will be extended all the way to the front. So instead of just putting pressure right here on these pins, we'll be able to distribute that all the way across. Like I said, I've seen guys do that. I've had a few guys email me pictures of the way they did it as well, and we're just going to combine some of those ideas. It's definitely an issue, definitely needs to be fixed, and it's been fixed before by other people, and it's worked really well. So we're going to do it because I need this thing to be a tank. We'll just be a little light in the nose until we're ready not to be. You know, it's not that big a deal. You just look up, you look down. You'll get there when you get there. Definitely wide enough now. We can get our deliveries back here for the building material for the YouTube yacht. Now, whenever I did the video of backing in here with Dirt Perfect's triaxle and dumping all that base rock, they said, well, if you can get a triaxle back there, they can get a delivery truck back there. And getting the truck back wasn't the problem. The problem was once it got back here, there wasn't enough room to either offload the piggyback forklift, and there definitely wasn't enough room to get the material off the truck. So sure, you could get the truck here, but unless you're offloading it by hand, you're kind of out of luck there. So they'd have to offload out by the road, and I didn't really like leaving all that stuff by the road. I'd have to break down all the bundles, use the 755, and then drag it back here because the road wasn't wide enough to put the forks underneath 16-foot material and get it back. So now it's wide enough they can either offload at the road and fork back 16-foot wide material on their forklift, or if they want to drive back here with the delivery truck, they can back right in here, offload that forklift, pull it, swing it, set it, and be done. And then the material is right where it needs to be. It's going to save me a tremendous amount of time, a tremendous amount of work when it comes time to framing this rig, which I'm pretty excited about. Well, it's slightly tucked back here. I still can't get over how soft it is, even with all that material under there. It's just going to take some time for all that chert rock to settle down now. And it's going to get another 20 ton of white rock on top of it to kind of blend everything in with that parking area so it looks halfway decent. But it'll get there. It just takes a little. Only fella had $5,000, another 150 tons worth of stone and excavator, sheep's foot compactor, and small, small finish dozer, the 6-way blade. We'd really had something here. I'm not too worried about it though. We still got something. It's progress. It's headed in the right direction, and eventually we'll get it how we want it. It just takes time. And it will work out, I assure you that. If you don't believe me, stay tuned to the channel, be subscribed, and see, is it gonna work or is it gonna not? Next video, we're